Scott Glenn can also carry a film, a star. Scott Glenn
He was in
as the
Apollo
captain.
13, which did a great job there. And
Oh yeah,
yeah, here he completely envelopes himself in the character. You believe that he's Captain Mancuso.
oh he does. And we're bouncing around like we always do. There's a speaking of his character. There's the one article I could find uh, that was kind of academically based. It was interesting, but this was an article that was really trying to make a point. This article had felt, and we can talk about this. This
Yeah,
article had felt that it was kind of taking Reagan's ideology to task and saying that the Americans were kind of reactionary and in this film, and that they were another point that they were making was that that they felt like they were kind of taking advantage of the Russian system and not respecting the Russians. And I kind of disagreed with them on all counts. I mean, watching our this is a very dangerous sub. Either side could have developed a weapon like this. It just
yes.
was in this film. It's the Russians, and actually, it kind of, in a sense, it gives credit to the Russians. It's yet another scientific advancement that they made. They mentioned Yuri. Sean Connery says, this is like Yuri Gagarin. This is like Sputnik.
Yeah.
Another big advance. Only they won't this time. Instead of hearing the thunder of our rockets, they will fear at our silence from the silent Caterpillar drive.
Yeah.
But it's a scientific, so it's kind of respecting what the Russians can do, and it's a first strike weapon. In that back in the day, either side could have been developing first strike weapons. So both sides could have been reactionary, but both sides, and I don't think he brings this out in the article very well. Both sides actually had people like Jack Ryan and the captain, like Scott Glenn, as Commander Mancuso. Both sides, those characters are not reactionary. They are analyzing and thinking. Their ideology is not guiding them. What is guiding them is facts, things that they discover, facts on the ground.
It makes me
And
think also of Run Silent, Run Deep. If you remember that film, where you have the American captain and the German U-boat captain who are
right,
matching wits with each other without having actually met each other.
right, exactly. And there's a respect on both sides.
There is, and
Yeah,
there was a comedy routine done at the time that movie came out where the captain says, "I think there's a U-boat out there. I know this because my corns are hurting." Switch to the U-boat captain. Nobody knows we're here unless that's the captain with the corns. And they,
that's a that's great.
yeah.
that is, that's that
But
could have been a nice.
they were matched very well, and that was the wonderful thing. You don't usually see that in war movies, especially, and here either, where you have captains matching wits with each other and being on kind of a level playing field.
Absolutely. Like I said, this article is saying Scott Glenn, because uh, uh, Sean Connery's character was worried about a cowboy, somebody, that he said,
Yeah,
my biggest fear is that we run into an American sub commander that's a cowboy, and he'll want to fight us instead of realizing I want to defect.
yeah.
And and Scott Glenn is the opposite of a cowboy. I mean, he's not to put down, but it's that kind of reactionary mentality that the article was talking about. He's not that way at all.
Well, Scott
He
Glenn did say that he had followed both Scott Glenn um, and the
Sean Connery.
Sean Connery had
Yeah,
both spent time with American ships, so they could
exactly.
see how a captain works. And Scott Glenn said that the captain on the ship that he was on never raised his voice no matter what happened. If there was something that was, alarms going off, things like this, he was just as calm as he was when nothing was happening. And he based his character on that captain, who actually they gave a bit part as the guy that launches the torpedoes when James Earl Jones is leaning over him saying, "I was never here." But his keeping his cool completely was just the essence of that character. And you could see through all the thing, it was just, we have a job to do here. Here's what we do next. Here's what we're going to do next. Here's how we're going to figure this out. Here's how we're going to work it. And it goes back to working the math in The Martian. You don't get excited about it. You just you do what you have
That's
to do.
That's right. That's right. And you don't put your ideology does not guide the way.
No,
What you have to do. The mission is guiding the way, and actually in this case, not going to a nuclear war. And the Scott Glenn character is amazing. He listens to Jonesy, who has this crazy idea that he can hear by speeding up this tape 10 times speed, where the computer $40 million worth of software has said looking for geothermal or geological sounds, and Jonesy really, and that was I'll find his name in a second. In a
yeah,
second, he was terrific. I think Tari,
yeah.
no, no, yeah,
He's
Courtney
one of those
Vance.
people that's been he's one of those people that's been in 100 different TV shows. You've probably seen him, but has always been pretty much
Yeah,
um, just a character actor, and those people always get work.
yeah. So he speeds
But
up the tape. Yeah, Scott Flynn says, "You're telling me we got $40 million worth of software that says this is something geological, and you think it's a new type of sub that we've never." And Jonesy says, "Yep," and he believes him.
he says, "You
And
sold
then,
me."
wow, watching,
And that is
yeah,
based on
you
an
sold me.
actual
That's
character. That
exactly
is
right.
during World War II. There was an actual um, um, radar guy who was able to. He had an incredible talent in interpreting the radar, and it led to one of the big naval victories during World War II. Just for a guy
Wow.
like that. So Jonesy's not made up. He's based on an actual person.